Good.
Good evening, one and all. It is the third and final instalment of our trilogy of Super Sunday for the second week running. If you do not know me, and I don't know why you wouldn't, my name is Ellie, and I'm taking you through Ukraine. Yes, the hosts of 2017 and 2023 adjacently had their annual show of Vidbir last night, and we now have their entry. We're going to get straight on because you've seen us all already throughout the course of this evening. We don't need to introduce ourselves again, I think. So we're just going to crack straight on. Some of us are tired, some of us being me. But I'll be with you for the next 45 or so minutes to talk around Ukraine and their chances going forward now. So if we're not going to waste any time, let's start with songs 1 till 5 and let's discuss them and see what went right and what went wrong for them last night at Vidbir. So as you can see there, that was Flash Relief with Wind of Change, Albi with Dim, Molody with My Sea, Future Culture with Waste My Time, and Masha Kondrenko with No Time to Cry. Now, spoiler alert, none of these songs won, so we will not be seeing them in Basel, so we can talk about these freely. I know, Michelle, shock, horror, gasp. But speaking of, actually, and I'm going to come to you first, Phil and Michelle, Masha leading into the show was the favourite to win this and was heavily touted by the fans. But she only got third in both the jury and the televote. What went, I don't want to say wrong, but what was she missing to get that ticket to Basel, do you think?
Well, first of all, get them dancers off the plinths. Plinths don't work.
We're going to do, in the off-season, we're going to do a show about why plinths don't work at Eurovision.
But I thought it started a bit slow. It was quite dramatic, though. But to be fair, this was a good national final in terms of the quality and the variety of songs as well.
It was a corking national final. Yeah, this ruined the rest of the night for me because it was first up.
But yeah, I don't know why he didn't do better, really.
I loved the voice.
Yeah.
It got a lot of staging as well, which I think it really helped it. I thought it was really good. I loved the thumping bass. And then it cuts to quieter section, then it ramps it up again, and then the end, it's brilliant. And I do not understand what went wrong with this song. I don't know what else she could have done to improve her position at all. I thought it was absolutely magnificent.
Thank you. And what do you think of the other four that I'll see in this little segment as well? Because we had five very different songs, I think it's safe to say, with varying degrees of success.
Yeah. Did anybody else think that Vlad Sharif looked like a 70s pimp off like a film or something from Hollywood Boulevard with what he was wearing?
I thought he looked like a mafia boss.
Or was it just me? No,
yeah.
No, it was Hollywood pimp. You could see it all day long.
I liked his Light Up Flower. It got quite a high voice. It was an emotive ballad, but it didn't really do it for me. Albeit with Dim, the red dresses. Why would the dancers have stockings on their heads? I didn't understand that.
I don't know. Maybe there was some sort of robbery going on, and they had to get there quick and didn't have time to take them off.
Yeah. And the twangy things in the
Oh,
background
everyone
as
loves
well.
it. Phil loves a mouth twanger.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
So melody, I quite like this. The harmonies were fab, and it was quite theatrical sounding in parts. I thought it was really good. I thought it was absolutely ready made for Eurovision.
I thought some of the bits sounded a bit like a James Bond theme.
Yeah, but it was really that's what I mean. It was really theatrical.
Yeah.
And I thought if you put that on a Eurovision stage now, it wouldn't be out of place. It looked really good.
Future Culture?
Yeah, it's all gone a bit brand new heavies with this one. If anybody is aware of who they are, I wasn't expecting a smooth funk sound from Ukraine, but to be fair, I loved it. But by the end, it did get a bit too repetitive.
It was for me, it was like 70s, 80s disco. It was nice to see a bubble machine. You don't see a lot of bubble machines in Eurovision.
Because it's slippy on the stage.
You know, you get wind machines and pyros and stuff, but a bubble machine.
It's slippy on the stage.
I like a bubble machine. It was all right. That.
I'll remember that for your birthday.
Hey!
But it makes a statement.
I mean, look, they're sending her for Vikman. That's the one we've got to worry about a slippy stage in Basel, let's be honest.
She did look slippy on that microphone.
Well, used, doesn't it?
Well, and what kind?
We'll discuss that in May. Oban, let's come across to you. Did you love, and get ready to drink, everyone, Oban loves a cultural orgasm. He has an award dedicated to it in our fan show, and Ukraine normally wins it. Did any of them give you that cultural orgasm feeling in this first 5?
I dressed up Ukraine. Ukraine is one of my favorite countries in Eurovision. And although I had won this national final, it's not in this group. Hold on to your drinks, Michelle and Phil. It's coming up. This first 5 song, it has my 8th place, 9th place, and 10th place out of 10 songs. Also my 1st place and 3rd place. Melody, my C, was my winner. It was definitely a winner quality song. I think that would have stood out a lot in a Eurovision final. Wind of Change, Vlad, it oozed from him that he didn't have any stage experience. It was an amateur time. Bless his heart. He tried his best. I think it's a good experience for him, but definitely, sorry, not a win material. Masha, creepy babies at the end. It's like, I hate literal representation of the lyrics. Like, we get it. We're not dumb. It's just like, it was just bare butt naked babies. It's not even like, clothed something that looks like a baby. It was just a baby doll. They were holding it. And I'm like, did that kind of extend a literal representation? It's no. Future Culture waste my time. Boy, they did. It was just no. That lyrics felt so wrong. That key felt so wrong. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, Melody was my winner. And even though Abiye Dim was really, really good second runner-up for my culture orgasm, it wasn't right the time. It was too soon. I needed a little bit more. But yeah, and then second half of the show did give me the cultural orgasm I've been waiting for.
So what you're saying is Albie was the foreplay to the later of the show, which, given it took 4.5 hours for 10 songs, God knows when that could have happened. Like, I know we complained last week about, what was it? Which country did we whinge about taking too long to start? But, oh my God.
Greece.
The Baltics and the yeah. Montenegro, Greece, Ukraine, speed up.
Yeah. We don't need...
To be fair, Elliot, they're at war. And this is probably like a highlight of, it's a distraction.
True. True.
And for a country at war, this was a fantastic national final. So I think you've got to give them a bit of leeway for the fact that it was.
It's no San Marino.
No, true. I mean, that's this week. And like I said, Malta, they took their time. But as Tom said last night, that was to get enough ad revenue to actually pay for the venue, I think. Tom, let's actually come across to you. Obviously, we mentioned about obviously poor, Vlad. He came last in the jury and the public, and from that clip, you could kind of see why. Which makes you wonder: A, how did he make the top 9 to be selected? And B, do you think it was just a case of lack of experience, wrong time? Yeah, what happened to the poor lad who had to open this show?
Do you know what? You felt quite sorry for him in the end because, I mean, let's face it, this was not the greatest song in the world. His vocal wasn't the greatest vocal in the world, and the performance wasn't the greatest performance in the world. And it just all felt very flat. And yeah, the fact that it got last place was actually of no surprise to me. I was messaging some people at the time. I was like, first entry, what do you think? And it's like, it's kind of a no from us. However, things did pick up. I have to admit, I was quite a fan of both My Sea and No Time to Cry. However, I mean, let's face it, on a whole as a package, this was the weakest 5 out of them. I think things kind of started to pick up as you got to the middle section. I suppose the one thing I want to kind of pick up on a little bit is actually the feedback I think the artists were getting, because some people are saying, well, what went wrong with some of the feedback? And, there was a couple of songs that I thought were quite strong that actually were quite disappointing. But then I had the English commentary on and I was listening to some of the comments given by some of the esteemed jurors. I won't call out who in particular, but I thought that if you were listening to that, you might be unduly influenced by some of the comments, which I didn't think were entirely great, as it were. And in particular, I think Masha's song "No Time to Cry," which I had as my top, I thought she was given a harder time by the panel than she deserved. There we go.
How very diplomatic and Miss America of you, Tom. You will go through to the next round of the pageant. Yes, give us a nice wave, darling. Aaliyah, let's come across to you. What are your thoughts on these 5? And do you agree with Tom? Because we spoke about on Friday with Ireland how an in-house jury can really sway how you feel. Do you agree that maybe national finals just should get rid of the live studio jury? And what do you actually think of these 5 songs? Were any of these your winners for Vidbir? I can't speak now.
Yeah, so the juries, I totally agree with that. They are too much of an influence on the crowd. Definitely, if you're a fan of one of the judges, and then you're like, oh yeah, but he said that, so yeah, that must be true. So now I'm sharing his opinion. I speak for myself. When Belgium had Alexander Rybak in the judge thing with Mother, but anyway, so just get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. We're grown-ups. We can make our own decisions. We don't need to be influenced by Eurovision stars. And the artists, so first we had that guy with the light-up flower. Don't remember much except for the light-up flower. Then we had the game Whack-A-Mole, which I constantly wanted to like slam the holes. And for the rest, I don't remember much. Only the last one. I am bad with the names. The girl in the white dress. That was my favorite. I liked it so much. She was one of my contestants for the first place.
Thank you. And before we come to Mick and give him a bit of time for his connection, just to speed up with us, I'm just going to jump in and say, Marsha Kondraenko should have won last night. My favourite, brilliant. Owen, you can shake your head if you want. We'll get to you in a minute when we come to the next round. I thought this was the whole package. I agreed with myself and Michelle. I thought it had everything it needed, and I did think it was pretty much stage ready for Basel. We do hold Ukraine quite a high stand, and I think Masha kept that going. So I was very surprised to see she only got 3rd in both. I thought, okay, maybe the public will put her through, but it was a shock to see her only finish 3rd overall. But you know, like I said, that's why we're not on the jury yet. We will take over Europe one day. But hey ho, that is life, and we all have opinions, and that's what makes us all fun and interesting. As for the others, yeah, really wasn't too bothered. Vlad gave it a good go, but no, thank you. Future culture, I agree. Wasn't expecting to hear that in Ukraine, and I don't think I need to hear it again. It was nice for some diversity, but I was left confused the entire time. And Molody, I'm over these sort of like prog rock bands, and especially what he was wearing. He looks sweaty and greasy, and that's not fun. Like he looked a bit creepy. I'm turning into Michelle. He looked a bit creepy. I don't like it. There was something off. It just maybe gave me the ick, and I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you, but no, thank you.
Did he
Nick,
wink? I've got a thing about winking as well.
If he did, I quickly eviscerated it from my brain. Mick, let's come across to you now. What are your thoughts on these five to round out this first section?
Melody, Song of the Night. Song 1, Jamala Wants a Cake Back. Song 2, I Love the Crochet. Song 4, definitely a waste of everybody's time. Song 5, I didn't like the English lyrics. And as for the jury,
thank you very much, Mick. So as we said, those five sadly did not advance. We'll not see one of them again. But we now move on to songs 6 through 10, discuss them, and obviously we should be talking about the winner as well, because the winner is in this next section of songs. Ukraine's a weird and wonderful place, isn't it? I want to go when it's all a little bit calmer out there. But that was Kayat with Honor, Finika with Kultura, who was the wild card voted in by the public after the initial 9 were selected. Kulalta with Stay True, Ziferblat with Bird of Prey, and DK Enatik, I think that's how you say it, I can't speak Cyrillic, with Still. Right, I actually started this off. God, this was an interesting 5, wasn't it? Song 10. Why was he facing the back of the audience? Turn around. People have paid good money to be there. As you said, there's a war going on. This is a bit of a nice light entertainment for them. What are you doing? Krialta, I like the melody of it. I thought it was quite good, quite energetic, but something just seemed a little bit off. Korea, creepy. I remember him from 2020 because he came second behind Go A. Still as creepy as ever. Things don't change. And I said, his hair, it looked like a wig. Like a wig he just plopped on his head. Didn't get it. Creeped me out. And he won the jury. So I'm intrigued about that. And Finica, you know, public wildcard, can see why it got voted through, was quite fun actually. A good little energetic pop. She seemed like she had a lovely time. It's just wonderful. And Panda Bear plays Get Your Head Out of the Gutter. I know of a name like that. It probably lives there, but you know, whatever. And we'll talk about Ziferblat in a little bit because obviously they are the winners. But we will move on to Oban. Now, I can gather from this and this presentation and everything what your cultural orgasm was. But shall we just talk about the other ones and you just end on that climax? I'm not even sorry for the pun. It's been a very sexual weekend in Eurovision.
I will climax to the orgasm. Listen, like I watched through this national final and I just kept saying to myself, Ukrainian people are just talented. When it comes to creativity, Azerbaijani artists, they're really talented. Their vocal capacities, singing, music composition. But in terms of creativity, I think Ukraine is the number one. Like the way that they put together all these different elements with the nationalist traditional musical instruments with the modern beat and the staging, the technology, this was one of the most fun national finals I watched through this season so far. Hayat was really, I really, he was the only one with a stage presence. He was the only one that had a charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And well, song number 9. I just want to trust Ukrainian people's instinct. Let me put it that way. They haven't been wrong for the last few years, ever since the introduction of the semifinals. So I'm gonna put my trust in their choice, in their instinct. Song number 10, Diversity Act. How can you be a rock band and still be, as Michelle would put it, a beige? It was how can you be a rock band and be just so insignificant, so unmemorable? It was so weird. Yeah, it was a good mix. And of course, song number 7, it almost felt like a little bit of like Genghis Khan kind of energy, but boy, they delivered. They carried me to the peak. I climaxed and I had the cultural orgasm I was waiting for whole night. Thank you, Finika Kultura. That was just pure joy.
Genghis Khan. Oh, there's one for the youth. But if you're a Eurovision fan, you should really know that entry. I'm just saying it's one of the best of all time, in my opinion. Phil, Michelle, let's come across to you. And firstly, I think we need to get shirts just for Eurovision to say "Don't be beige." I think that's the running theme of this year. Don't be beige. But what do you think of these 5 and the eventual winner? And did you share the same excitement for Finika? And could you see why she was voted through by the Ukrainians as the wild card?
Well, we've got a statement to say, haven't we?
Have we?
Oh.
Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah, one of my favourite Eurovision songs.
God, it's so is.
Yeah, I mean, that is a song about being proud of your own culture, and you can kind of see where Ukraine's coming from in this. You know, obviously being at war and not wanting to be absorbed by another country, if you like. You know, defending their own identity. It's, you know, a traditional vibe to it.
Yeah, the mix of new and old was really good. Really, really good. Clever.
Yeah, I really like that one as well.
I love the staging. I loved how colourful everything was as well.
Yeah.
There was no beige involved.
No. And Kayat, I thought that was hard to categorise. I liked it. It was a good song. I mean, I liked all the songs, really. That's the thing. It was a great national final.
I love the dance breaks. And yeah. And I don't often say that ever. But yeah, I really like the dance breaks in that. I thought it was really good. Yeah.
What do you think of song 8? Cry Latter, Stay True. I wasn't keen on that one. There was a bit of interpretive dancing. Yeah, you've got interpretive dancing.
I thought, yay! Everybody loves interpretive dancing. Said nobody ever. It started slow, kicked in with a trip hop beat. It was good. But it was good. Do you know what? In any other national final, this would have stood out and you'd have thought, this is really good. But the quality of the songs in this national final just made it look average.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And it was a shame. Yeah.
DK Energetic, Sil, I thought that was 80s.
I've just read what I've...
Yeah.
It's off to the 80s goth. Yeah, Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah, Sisters of Mercy. A bit of The Cure, a bit of Bauhaus.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the woman with the camera was doing. There's a woman with the camera just like wandering around the stage, and
this truly had a bit of everything off of the goth 80s special.
I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was beige. It was just.
Oh no, it wasn't beige. No.
Disagree with Owen there, but
you can't have a beige goth over.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
such thing. Oh God, there will be now. Bet there's a website for it. Google it.
Are we talking about the fight, the
No,
winner yet?
no,
Are we leaving that?
no, we're leaving it.
Okay. All right then.
That is the Harrison's
Opinions.
opinion so far.
Thank you, Harrison Jury. I will fight for you to get on the national final panel one day, just so you look at your notes and go, "Oh God, is that what I wrote?" I will make it happen. Alina, let's come across to you. So obviously we'll focus on the four that didn't advance. Is there any you felt should have got the ticket to Basel from this group over Ziferblat, in your opinion?
Not really, because I can't remember much actually from them. I'm sorry. Mommy's tired. No, they do give a little bit of everything. Like Vidbir is not something you can not like if you're in one specific genre, because they give something for all. But it's like Phil said, you had that one group with that weird camera lady. Like, what was going on? I had so many questions. She was dancing so weird. I was so, it was so strange. And then you had that one with the long hair, and it was also so strange. And just it was a very strange evening for me, and I can't really remember much from it. It's just so weird.
It's fine.
I'm sorry,
we
by the
can't.
way.
That's fine, but it's because we just plied up in gin. That's what we can't remember. Well, it was a very long evening. Mick, let's come across to you. Obviously, as I said, big melting pot of different diversities and styles. Could you have seen anything else taking the plot from Ziferblat, and could you have seen anything else winning and even say getting a good result for Ukraine? Because I say they set a very high standard for themselves when it gets to the contest in May.
I think songs 6 and 7 would have done better. Song 10 was Dolga. Absolute brilliant.
Thank you, Mick. And Tom, let's round us out with you. Obviously, as you said, very big melting pot of cultures and ideas here, especially these five. Kaya won the jury. As Open said, he had the most stage presence. Do you think that's what gave him the edge in the jury? Because I personally was very surprised to see that win, because I wasn't enamored by the song. But he is a big name in Ukraine and got a big reaction when he did win the jury. Could you have seen this actually taking it, but the public did actually say no?
Can I be brutally honest? I couldn't see him taking it, partly because I thought it was absolute rubbish. Out of all of the songs, it came 10th on my list. How it got 4th is probably based on his own popularity amongst the jury, who I have to say I thought were actually not exactly the most unbiased live panel out there. The one I really liked and I thought had the hardest time out of the whole lot was Krylata with Stay True, because I thought that was actually quite a nice bop and I quite enjoyed it, and I had that down as my number 2 song out of all of them, because I thought that was quite good. I thought that was quite strong. I thought she had the dancers there. I thought her vocal was good, and I thought she's an absolute star of the future. I think there's a big future there for her in music. When it came to the others, obviously, I liked, is it Kultura? Is it Finka? I got Russian Woman vibes from that. If you remember the song from a little while ago, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a bit of a bop. And some people say I'm delusional. No, I've just seen this. Is Tom delusional? I'm not delusional, Michelle. I'm just, offering my opinion. I'm a realist. I know my opinions aren't the same as everyone else's, But the final song, song 10, I thought by the time you got to that, you were just making up the numbers. and that wasn't really for me. Obviously, we'll talk about the winner in a bit. But do you know what? I'm going to say justice for song 8 and also song 5.
Thank you, Tom. And we will move straight on to the winners because obviously we do have a song Ukraine are sending them. It is Ziferblat with the song Bird of Prey. Now, Ziferblat have been around or formed for the last 10 years. So they are an established band and they came second last year in Vidbir behind Aliona, and Jerry Hale. They are back and I will kickstart this. It's the most un-Ukrainian thing I've ever heard Ukraine send. It sounds more British than Ukrainian. And I have a question as to why the lead singer looks like Jay from The In-Betweeners. British people, you will see that and you will now not be able to unsee it. It was a very interesting song, and I think it's a very polarizing song in a sense because it reminds me in the like of Azerbaijan 2023. And I mean that in a sense like almost like Brit poppy sort of sound and, polarizing. This is the first time I've not seen a lot of people loving the Ukrainian entry either. So, it's a very interesting one. I have no strong opinions to it. But as Lee has put there, I do think this is the first time Ukraine could struggle to qualify. They are the only nation with a 100% qualification record, and they've been drawn in a very tough semi-final with the likes of Sweden, Azerbaijan, Croatia, Iceland, Estonia, and Norway, who all tend to qualify quite convincingly. Oben, let's start with you. Ziferblat, Ukraine's 100% record. Is it at risk with Bird of Prey?
No, definitely not. Like, no brainer. It's a good quality song. There is definitely a charm to it. Young audience will definitely vibe with it. Older audience will definitely vibe with it. That's a song that has elements for a wide range of age groups can find something that is relatable, memorable. Definitely, I don't doubt Ukraine's qualification. I don't think that's the most standout song for a potential strong final. So a couple of years back, they sent another. Was it Time when they were hosting it? They finished 21st or something in the final. I do expect something like that as a result in the final. Middle of the right hand side of the scoreboard. But yeah, I think it's a good quality song. Definitely, it's a good song. But you are right; it's the least Ukrainian thing that Ukraine has ever said. For the like known memory. But yeah, it's a good song. It doesn't mean that comment doesn't mean it's a bad song. I do think it's a good enough song to make it to the final.
And also, Oben, is this a song that you'll be voting for because Cyprus will be in the same semi-final? Do you see Cyprus giving us any points from their
To be fair,
vote?
I don't. To be fair, I don't have Cyprus phone number, so I have my Czech phone number, so I will be voting in the second semi-final.
Fair enough. Alina, we'll come across to you because same as Oben, Belgium will be in this semi-final competing against Ziferblat and Bird of Prey, and it's a strong semi-final at the minute with Clement, Squadra Electronica, obviously Teo and Claude. We haven't heard a song yet, but as I said, you've got Sweden, Portugal, all these other strong nations at the minute. Now we've all said Red Sebastian seems a bit of a safe bet to qualify, and I still stand by that. Would you say Ukraine's in a similar sense, or as I said, I'm not trying to ill will on Ukraine, but is their qualification at risk? Is this something you can see Belgian people at home voting for in a televote-only semi-final?
I don't think Belgian people will vote for it, but someone at my work commented this and it made me think that a lot of Ukrainian refugees who live now all over Europe are going to vote for their country. Same for Belgium. In Belgium, we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees and they are going to vote for their country. So if you think like that, Ukraine is going to the final anyway. So I don't think they will be at risk to go to the final. Is it a song that I like? Not really, but I think Owen said it. Like Ukraine does pick songs that always do well, or most of the time do well. So we have to have faith in them. And maybe this will be the grower of the year, and when it's time for Eurovision, maybe I'll be dancing and singing along. But as of this time, it doesn't ring my bells. I don't get it. I don't get the clothes. I don't get the staging. I don't get the song. It's not for me at this moment.
Thank you, Alina. Phil and Michelle, let's come to you. What are your thoughts on the song? As you said, they've been in the top 10, or more so like, say, the top 10 every single year since 2018. And obviously they withdrew in 2019. And the only time they've not been in the top 10 is they were 6th in Liverpool. Obviously a very high bar Ukraine have set themselves in the world of Eurovision. Can Ziferblat and Birds of Prey keep that going?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. In a world of filth, this will stand out a mile.
I thought it sounded like something from a 70s sort of rock musical, a bit like Jesus Christ Superstar sort of sound to it. I liked it. It's different. It's not like your bog standard Eurovision banger or your bog standard Eurovision ballad. It's something different.
Yeah.
And different always stands out.
People will always pick different out because obviously it's different. But I mean, they went to town on the staging. They made a little garden and everything. It was all really nice. And it was like, I've written down, it was like 4 songs in one. And then I got to like 3 genres and couldn't find a 4th. So I put, it was a ballad, it was dance, it was rock. And then I thought, oh shit, well, what else is it? So I put, it's hippie if that's a genre.
Yeah.
But it just sort of went through everything. There's a little bit of something for everybody. And you sort of sit there with your mouth open going, and it's not till the end you think, well, did I like that or not? And then you think, was it genius or not? Yeah, I think I'm going genius.
Yeah, I
with
think
it.
I think it's good. As I say, it's different, and I think it'll stand out.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Obvs, we loved it because it was a bit weird. It's going to finish in 7th place
Ooh, that's a prediction.
overall.
It's going to qualify and finish.
It's going to qualify and it's going to finish in 7th.
And there's a prediction. Get your bingo
Tom,
cards out.
Tom, just mark that down for us, please. If you like to keep track of all our bold predictions. Thank you.
You need to write it down, Tom, because it's right.
if that comes through, Michelle, I owe you a pint.
Oh, a pint? Brilliant. I'll take vodka.
Okay.
Maybe you should already put it on Wikipedia if you're so sure.
Wikipedia. Yeah, we'll put it on Wikipedia. Michelle the Witch said that this would finish in 7th.
Mystic Megan's no more, it's Mystic Michelle.
Mystic Michelle. Oh, I've been called worse, to be fair.
Thank you, guys. And hippie may have not been an era of music, but it was definitely a time era, so it's allowed,
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't around for it, but you don't need my judgment, but there you go. Mick.
Elliot.
Hey, I can't mute you, I haven't got the buttons either. Mick, let's come across to you. Obviously, as I keep saying, Ukraine have set themselves a high standard, but this is like a very bold choice for them. Phil and Michelle says it will pay off. Do you think it can?
No. This was my song number 10. They were awful last year, and they were even worse this year. It was just a wail to me. I'm sorry. I'm missing something from what everybody else is seeing. I hated it. Sorry.
Do not apologise. You're entitled to your opinions, and that most makes it different because obviously Michelle's saying 7th in the final, but Mick's also saying it won't qualify or you won't want it to qualify. Let's say that. Tom, let's round this out with yourself. Obviously, they came 2nd in the jury, won the public. That's how they're getting a ticket to Basel. Obviously, we spoke earlier about Erica maybe winning on the basis of, oh, she got so close last time, let's send her again. Obviously, they came 2nd last year, very close. Is it an element of the same sort of thing, or was this the right decision? And how can this perform in Basel, in your humble Miss America opinion?
Oh, wow. Haven't exactly given me a small job, have you? Crikey. Okay.
Never.
Let's take this from the top. It's a bit like Ukrainian music meets Britpop crossed with the Azerbaijani entry of 2023. And so it's got a lot going for it because it's a bit standout in that respect as well. Was I a greatest fan of it? No, however, it's a decent song. It's very well produced. You know, there were other songs there I would have much rather seen, but then also there were other songs, quite frankly, was more than happy to see it cross the finishing line. I mean, when it comes to the semi-final, let us not forget that there are 15 songs in the semi-final, of which 10 have to qualify. So there is a 66% chance of any song that they are going to go through. So the odds are in their favour from the off. And yes, you do have a lot of strong countries there. You know, obviously Estonia picks next week, and Poland confirms their entry next week as well. Portugal, never discount them these days. Sweden, Belgium, obviously, Croatia, Cyprus, Netherlands, Norway. And then you've got the unknowns, haven't you? I mean, we know that after Songbekeppin, that Iceland's odds have dropped substantially today. We know the views on Slovenia's act are interesting, as with Albania. But there are some, you know, Eastern European countries in there that could, along with the Ukrainian diaspora, actually send the Ukraine entry through. I don't think they're going to have the easy job that they have done in the past. I think if this gets through, it's going to get through in 10th place in their semi-final. And I think when it comes to the final, I think it's probably going to languish. However, I could just as easily see it finishing in 11th or 12th place in the semi-final and not making it through, dependent on the performance of the others, because I think there is some very, very strong songs potentially that are going to be in there with it.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Go on.
Do you need a hug?
What do you mean, do I need a hug?
I've already told you, 7th.
Just because it's a flashback to your late 90s
hedonism.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good word. But I think that potentially Ukraine, you know, could just sneak through this time round. You know, personally, it's not a song that I can see me voting for. But, you know, as always, it's lovely to see Ukraine there. There we go.
Thank you, Tom. And you also forgot next week Norway Select, because you'll be there. How did you forget that one?
Well,
I mean, he'll be.
Yeah, but
I mean, do you care? You're just excited to see Bobby Socks. Let's be honest. You don't care about anything else, just because.
What do you mean? Do I care? Bobby Socks are performing, Elliot. Bobby Socks are performing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You only care for Bobby Socks.
Bobby Socks are performing. Yeah, you know. I mean, sod everyone else, but I'm there for Bobby Socks.
Who's performing next week? Sorry.
Bobby Socks.
Oh yeah, that was it. Bobby Socks. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good song. It might grow on me. It might not. At the moment, I'm just a bit indifferent. So.
Yeah, and I do understand in the chat saying where a lot of people will give their points, and I understand say the diaspora will vote for their own country. We've seen it for years, like for decades. Like Poland always qualified based on that reason. Lithuania also did well on that same reason. So I can see a market for them sneaking through. But I do sense this could be like an Arlika and Bridges situation where it narrowly makes it through the semi-final because it's not a televote song, but then the jury could really give it something and it can finish lower top 10. I'm not saying 7th. I'm not going to be as bold as Michelle, but I can see it being somewhere around, like I said, 10th to 15th. I think I need more time with it for myself to see it go through, but then again, it depends what else it'll be against. And we won't have to wait that long because we're fully in the thick of it now, Eurovision-wise. You know, we've got more songs being selected next week. We've got Italy, Estonia, Poland, Armenia, and Lithuania, just to name a few, and probably some more that I've missed as well. But I think that is where we draw the line for tonight. We have covered 4 entries and 4 selections over 3 hours. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has sat and watched through it all, and a massive thank you to the entire panel who have all been here for at least 2 of these 3 shows.
Hang on, Michelle's got the list of what's next week, by the way. If you...
Yes, and Michelle, whilst I go and get my
list.
edit.
Obviously, on Saturday, we've got what's that thing they do in Sweden that we don't watch?
Mel something.
Melanie something.
Melanie.
Melfest. I think the stew is on Melfest on Saturday, straight after the show. It'll be there. Then Sunday, it's like Saturday/Sunday because it's San Remo.
Which goes on and
on and on and on. And we'll be there going on and on and on. But we're going to do a show about 10, 15 minutes after the show. So it's usually about midnight UK time, going into Sunday, 1:45. We will be there. And honestly, it's a treat because none of us can string a sentence together because we've spent a week drinking together. It's horrific.
And it's always our best show because all the Italians come and watch.
Well, they do. And they either love it or, as last year, they weren't keen. It wasn't the favourite. And then on Sunday, obviously Sunday, the 16th of February, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Central European time, we have Estonia and Poland. Then at 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Central European time, we have Lithuania. And then at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time, we have Norway. So that is your next week at ESC Fan TV.
Thank you very much, Phil and Michelle, and the binder that knows everything. Seriously, without that book, we would not have a clue what's going on. Like, we're not even joking. It's like, Michelle, have you got the book? We don't know what we're doing.
If I didn't have that book, I have no idea what's going on.
It's the book
if it's not written in pen in the book, we don't know what's going on.
But yes, it does start from next Saturday, straight after the show in Melody Festival, and myself and Alina, I'm sure we will be there. And our job will mainly be reining in Stuart because the long-anticipated return of Dolly Style, his words, not mine, will be taking place. So God help us all. And if you're a long-time supporters of the show, know how much he loves Dolly Style. Make of that what you will. I'm not touching that. But that is all for now. I think we're all going to run up into the night and either prepare ourselves for San Remo with gin and wine or get an early night because it's going to be a long week in the land of Eurovision again. But a big, big thank you to my entire panel here. A big thank you to everyone watching at home. We do this all for you. We love it. And we're glad you enjoy the chaos that surrounds us as well. But until next week, we will love you and leave you. Bye-bye for now.